All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August meeting of the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance Member Showcase. We've got a great showcase today. We've got Kumar from DwellFi and Deepak from DwellFi, and they're going to be showcasing DwellFi shortly. But real quick, we'll start with our mission. And the mission of the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance is to foster the development and proliferation of decentralized AI agents through education, activism, research, and events. Real quick, we're going to run through some membership stats. If we have any new members on the call today, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself. And if you have any updates that you'd like to give, we'll open it up for that in a moment. Then we'll quickly go over some DAIAA updates. We'll have DwellFi showcase, and if there's time at the end, we'll have an open discussion. So real quick, in terms of member stats, we've got 235 DAIAA members today. That's up 7 in the last month, continuing to grow. And anybody here, any new members? There any new members? Raise your hand or just introduce yourselves. The floor is open. You haven't introduced yourself before, going once. Anybody? Twice? Okay. We'll go back to the presentation. Second. And anybody have any members have any announcements they'd want to make? Going once, twice? Okay. The next general meeting is September 14th. We generally have the general meetings on the first Monday of the month, but the first Monday next month is Labor Day, so we'll push it a week. And then the showcase will be the Monday after that, on the 21st. If you've got an agent you'd like to showcase, let us know. The next meeting of the Agentic Privacy and Security Subgroup is September 14th, and the next meeting of the Agentic Commerce subgroup is September 2nd. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kumar and Deepak with DwellFi. The floor is yours, guys.
Good. Yep. I'll just start a quick introduction of myself and then I'll hand over to Deepak. And then from there, we'll do a short demo and then open the floor for Q&A. My name is Kumar. I'm the founder and CEO for DwellFi. The DwellFi is now almost 5-year-old company. We started in early 2022. We got connected with Crypto Monday because Lou was an early investor, and then we were doing Crypto Monday chapter. The company originally Palo Alto, the chapter, and we started. A bit of background about myself. I started this company. Before that, I've been running 2 ventures and successfully exited, and then this is the third venture. And then after that, I got into in the world of finance, did my own venture and private credit and all those things. And then that get me to the back, more towards the back office, middle office, and all those things. And that's how DwellFi was born. Early days, DwellFi, we were more focused about the tokenization, and we built a platform to tokenize the asset by bringing the data or private asset data on chain, and in a way that can bring liquidity to the asset where people can actually borrow against those assets and do equity swap and these kind of things. And that's how originally DwellFi was. And then FTX happened and people don't want to touch tokenized asset and all those things. But we had the foundational build. So that's how we switched more on towards the AI. And then we 100% pivoted into AI last January of 2025. And from there, we are now a full stack AI platform for operating system to build agents. And now we have seen great traction since then. Uh, we have five customers today, out of which one of the large global enterprise customers we just onboarded, and we are onboarding few more large customers. So I'll go into more detail about the slide, but I just hand it over to Deepak for a quick introduction.
Yeah. Hi all. I'm Deepak, founder CTO at DwellFi. Also based out of San Francisco, almost 2 decades in Bay Area, working through different startups. Started my career as a computational biologist. Went through two IPOs and
Thing doesn't work.
and then
Yesterday.
no worries. And then after that, was at Walmart Global Labs, looking into what it means to collaborate with 2 million colleagues as employees and partners. Was looking into their billion-dollar cloud expense infrastructure, how to optimize all that. Then was at Citadel Securities, looking into high-frequency trading platform, how $7 to $8 billion are being made in global markets every day. I was responsible for making sure we are putting new alphas and updates every day, and still stay compliant and make sure we can make another 8 billion a day essentially. Otherwise, the world markets are gonna crash. Those are the things, and then they were not challenging enough, so Kumar decided let's start something in crypto at DwellFi, and that's how we got into the whole journey of where we are with DwellFi today.
All right. So I'll just quickly start sharing I'll go over this deck, and then we'll do a demo and then open the floor for a Q&A. As I mentioned, like DwellFi is a platform built for fund ops operations. A little bit about ourselves. As I said, like me and Deepak are a co-founder. We are right now operating in 4 different jurisdictions. So headquartered in San Francisco. We recently opened an office in New York 3 months back. We already have also operations in GCC. So we started DIFC office 2 years back, and now we are expanding in Abu Dhabi and Riyadh. And then we also have an office engineering base in Bangalore, India. Uh, what basically DwellFi is, in a very nutshell, we are a verticalized AI platform, and we focus on three core principles on which the whole platform is built. One is sovereignty of the data. So it's basically a platform which can offer entire stack either on your private cloud or into bare metal server like an air gap solution, which is a huge value add for a large sovereign wealth fund asset managers who wants the data privacy. And I think everyone wants this now. So that's one. Second core principle is it's already deterministic in nature. So every LLM is probabilistic in nature. We decided to go with a deterministic approach. So we build a platform, an agentic LLM. We'll go into detail, which is an deterministic in nature. And reason of this is any financial operations or mathematical operation, you need to be deterministic. You can't be probabilistic. And the third one is we have also optimized for the token usage, which is another big challenge in the current ecosystem, how you optimize for token when you are doing a certain agentic task. So those are the three key principles. Today, we are globally deployed in operational. One of our large customer is around 96 jurisdiction across the globe, and we're globally deployed with them. We have all the compliance and in place. So that's what, on a nutshell, DwellFi is. These are two our industry advisors who have helped us to get into this industry more deeper and connected. The problem we solve, this is so on a technical side and a business side, the two sides of the problem. So on a technical side, model lock-in is one problem. So think about us as an open router. But in a little bit different approach. So we benchmark every single LLM, top open source and top closed source for the specific task. And based on that, we have built our own agentic LLM on top of that so that you can do the tasks based on specific, it automatically pick which one to use for specific tasks. Then, as I said, like unpredictable token usage. So we have optimized for that. Accuracy is the key thing. That's where the deterministic nature comes in the picture. So we have 100% deterministic approach. Then one of the other big challenges in this space is unless you start doing like when you have the like 5,000 pages document, how to handle the RAG systems and memory and context. So we have optimized for that. Data sovereignty is another use case, and we have built our own agent harness to do all those things. So, which is the reason why we can achieve all those things. The kind of problem, business problem is like you have a huge data transformation, data trapped into a large document. You have last minute capacity problem. So those are the key pain points which we are solving today for the customers. And it starts with two ways. One is with our core managed service, AI native managed service, and the second is through the platform. This is on a very high level overview of how the platform works for the anyone who has technical uh, interest. This is how the platform works. So there is one last layer which is not there, which is about the agnostic in nature, about the cloud agnostic or air gap solution. But basically, these are the four layers on the platform. Deepak, do you want to go into this one and give a brief about people?
No, yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, I think and any questions so far in the team? I know Kumar talked a lot, like quite a bit. So, any questions, comments? If not, of course, like I can talk about the layers. Awesome. All right. Like I mean, it's pretty obvious. The fifth layer is our infrastructure, where by design we know that the industry we are operating in, we are required to be sovereign in nature. Sovereignty begins with it being on enterprise data centers to geographically located in a particular data center in a particular geography, because that's what the law requires them to do. We deal with clients like that. And that's the fifth layer, which you don't see here because that's infrastructure. Once that is done, DwellFi has invested heavily into something we call, it used to be called AI Gateway, now it's called MCP Hub, because that's how people recognize it more easier. Which is essentially the centralized place through which AI and human can access your enterprise touchpoints, like all services, databases, FTP servers, S3 buckets, everything where you store digital data today can be exposed through MCP. And then once that is done, then the LLM layer or RAG infrastructure basically kicks in for users. And when I say LLM layer, it's not like those open source projects which are out there, which allows you to do random routing to different places. We are talking about agentic LLM layer, which means there are performance pools where, hey, my job is to give my customer the fastest, most creative LLM out there. So it's a pool of LLMs combined together, where there's always a maker and checker, where a maker creates the job and checker actually checks and gives feedback before we produce the outcome and give it back to the users. And that whole thing combined as an effect, exposed as LLM, gives a higher order outcome and accuracy, which at least in our customer base and industry needs. And and then when on this foundation, then we basically build knowledge library, which is our AI data lake, which is pretty much all your universe of information consumable in the form of files and folders. Just drag and drop and let AI do the magic, and then that you can use that information to then create structured extraction. That is what AI tables are. You can create custom reports, or you can build more agents which can, again, based on this information, can further extrapolate, transform this information. There is a RPA 2.0 aspect of it, which our system have, which is like browser control, agentic browser control. That is pretty much necessary in our industry because there are credit unions which don't have APIs. They don't plan to have it. How do you log in and download bank statements? There are portals who don't have APIs. How do you integrate? So basically, idea is how do we automate keyboard and mouse essentially, so that we can follow what a human does today in their desktop. And once all these capabilities are built, then we expose two interfaces to our customers and partners. One of them being the chat portal, which we'll see in a bit, and the equivalent counterpart developer console, which allows the technical teams on the customer side to further expand their existing tools and solutions by bringing in a very smart AI search lake, extraction, three-way, four-way reconciliation of information, and things like that. Validation could be as simple as, imagine you have say 1,000 investors, and you need to compare their KYC data and then need to compare their commitments, combine all that together in a single spreadsheet and say, are we good or not? Stuff like that. So that's what the DwellFi platform can achieve on a very, very high level. Any questions, comments?
Okay, so okay, so we can just quickly go into the couple more slides and then maybe jump in the demo. So what we offer is like, as I was mentioning, one is the managed service, which is an AI native managed service. And these are generally a large scale data transformation jobs where you have a huge amount of data. You need to be transformed from one system to another or one form to another and those kind of things. How you can do it, the more core important thing is how you can do accurately and how you can do it in a compressed time. So that's one of the thing. Agent team is another one, which is basically uh, where we our services is in particularly in the service industry. So one of the biggest cost driver in the service industry is labor. So what we do is we give you basically a fixed uh, price agent team which works as a digital worker, and these basically agents work on a specific task. So take an example of a fund servicing. When you take an example of the fund servicing, there is a uh, 20 to 30 tasks, which you have to do annually, weekly, daily, and those kind of thing. And those are the tasks which consume a lot of bandwidth from the labor. So we basically compress that task with the agents, and they do the same job deterministically and accurately and deliver it in a, like I would say 80% less in the time. And that's where we amplify the labor cost. So now the same team can serve 20 more funds instead of doing one. So that's where the agent teams comes in the picture. And the core thing is it's all work on a fixed price. So it's not like unpredictable pricing. And enterprise knowledge base is our enterprise data lake, or what Deepak was explaining, where you can, it's like file and fold system. You can push in any type of unstructured data at any scale, and it basically convert every single unstructured data into a structured format, plus ready to be consumed by AI agents. Either you use our agent, or you can, if you are using Claude or any other things, you can consume our services through our MCP and then consume into your own agent harness, which is the last piece. We have our own agent harness compared to either you can use this or we can expose it through MCP server to other systems if you have. Some of the use cases, these are some of the use cases we have done with our clients, which gives you the idea of the scale of the platform. So oh, oh, it's like a 51,000 record, 51,000 pages was need to be transformed from one system to another for 200 LP, which will easily take at least in the industry, it takes like 2 weeks to 3 weeks of this thing. And if you run it on a Claude or something, first it will not work. And if you're somehow optimized to do that, it'll take you like at least $20,000 worth of credit to do those things. We have delivered it in like $4,000 and over the weekend in 2 days. So that will give you an idea of the scale of the platform, at what scale it optimizes things and work. Similarly, capital call migration, there's K1 verification. These are the enterprise knowledge. These are some of the use cases which we have delivered to the client, but at scale and to optimize. The other thing which we have seen a lot with our clients or is basically build versus buy scenario, and that's where we come in and we explain like, okay, how this de-risk your internal build. So as I explained, we have the full-blown infrastructure, data infrastructure, which you can be deployed, and then you can build applications, internal application on top of that, because the entire application is also available through a dev portal. So you can just have an API or MCP servers through which you can expose it and start using building your application. So, or you can leverage our agent harness. So the whole idea is that you have a stable infrastructure where you can start building on top of that instead of building all the plumbing you have to do to start even building the first application. That's why it's like agentic OS. So you have an OS and you can build as many agents you want and customize it. These are some of the example of the managed services, how that works. But any questions so far? Otherwise, we can jump into our demo.
Looking forward to seeing the demo.
Okay, so let's jump into demo, Deepak.
All right, let me share my screen and go
Yeah.
about it. All right, let me know when you all can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe everybody's able to see it. All right. All right. So what you're looking at is basically the engineering environment which we typically demo on for customers, and in there essentially this is what a home screen looks like, where the idea is it gives you right away out of the box feeling that, oh, it looks like Cloud or looks like Copilot, and that's essentially by design. This is at par or better in many cases equivalent to Cloud, but running on your own premise and under your own enterprise realm without breaking the bank, which Cloud enterprise deals would probably require you to do. And in some cases, not even a choice which is available in local government and countries where it's necessary. Okay, so on a very high level, a customer can come in here. They can attach all their sources as it's, and more can be enabled. This will allow you to integrate your emails, Salesforce, anything else in future. We have about over 100 plus integrations which we can touch into. All that goes through our performance pool, and this is what I was talking about when I was talking about LLM layers. We don't talk about Opus, Gemini, GPT, or any of the deep seek ones. We talk about performance pools, and idea is DwellFi offers these performance pools, and within them it is DwellFi responsibility to deliver you the best value to dollar and dollar to value ratios where possible. And if there are certain requirements around blacklisting certain models or providers, we are more than happy to entertain those things to the customers. Okay, so
And I'm sorry, go to scroll back over those. There was, yeah, and so these ratings on the right, like the Veda 1.4 to 119, what is that?
that is the maximum number of credits which it can consume in a single request. So idea is we cap them, even though sometimes the request can take a little longer, a little above that, but this goes into the concept of deterministic pricing, which is basically, hey, like in order for you to do a particular job, it may end up doing 100 requests, and thereby your minimum exposure and maximum exposure financially.
Thanks.
Okay, get great questions. Yes, and of course, let me show you one example I just started, and then we'll go through other ones. So, yeah, this is the one looks like. Yeah, so I think this looks like a internet type demo example, which is, hey, you are in a Wall Street Journal. I am giving you $100,000. Invest in a firm and then produce me a report. So just to quickly show how it's going through, it's analyzing my request, setting objectives, creating to-dos, and more importantly, going through and as a user, you have all visibility at all times, like what the agent is doing, how many credits it's consumed or consuming. So first credit gets updated, the moment the first request is complete. But essentially, it's going through finding the knowledge tools, the tools, finding the right skills to go about doing the job, going to internet, getting things, and all other stuff, and then essentially producing a report which is necessary. So, and it'll eventually finish. And once we finish, we'll come and look at it. But I just wanted to show, like, this is what typically people test AI with. Like, hey, how great your agent is. And idea is, here is a general task which you can give, and it's just going on internet and making it happen. Now, a similar task can be given on a private information and data set, which I have given. I will show in a bit. So let's quickly jump to knowledge libraries first. So what are knowledge libraries? So knowledge libraries are your collection of like files and folders and documents, almost like equivalent of if somebody's building a Dropbox again, how would you build Dropbox again, right? But now you can control how much of that documents need to be AI learned to do some cost control if necessary. Otherwise, you leave everything on. It's reasonably cheap to get everything learned. And what does everything learned means? So everything learned means you just drag and drop your information, PDF, images, audio, video, spreadsheets, and the product can just basically go through it all and then basically drag and tag the whole thing so that you can go about finding the information as necessary. Okay. So this is a great example of a very dense newspaper actually, and then the whole idea here is basically, hey, how accurate we are in our team member have literally taken every small pixel in there and actually went about verifying that everything is getting extracted the way we need to, and we very much can chat on this and then get some high level insights about what's going on there. It's as simple as, should I invest in growth? And it will just go about coming back. While it's doing that, let's see. Okay. Let's see if it's okay. Where are we with this? Okay, so the investment portfolio, of course, we've got a PDF and of course an HTML as well. Let's look at the PDF HTML. Okay, so this is what the allocation looks like, where it generated the summary, which of course then you can share with somebody. So let's actually do that. So now this is a link you can share with anybody saying, hey, here is your custom proposal of XYZ, and that can be anything if you think about it, right? So in this case, it's saying your objective is $100,000 deployment. In this case, it's like a use case for a wealth advisor. Imagine you had a conversation with a customer who you're advising, hey, let me help you do this stuff, right? And then you're like, hey, here is what it looks like, and here is the breakdown and whatnot, and like what we should do, what we should not, and then how we should theoretically allocate the money, and then what its potential visually looks like, and then why apply in those themes, like literally like how probably a Wall Street analysis will get things done, and then recommendation and whatnot at the bottom essentially. Okay. Like this, you can pretty much do any tactical proposal what may be necessary. You can share the whole conversation with the client if that helps, and more importantly, I think very few people in the industry do this, where we give you the breakdown of your whole AI session, so that way you are able to optimize and understand like what are your cost drivers, and that's very, very important if you think about it. And then at the bottom, the AI learns from your interactions, and you can control how these memory will flow into your own personal customization or your team level. Imagine Kumar had a certain great insight on how to leverage AI, and then he's like, hey, share with the team. And next time around, we all will get better because Kumar donated that insight to the larger audience, if you think about it. The good thing is these learnings and insights, they are not like how it happens on the public platforms where they become part of the common knowledge pool which gets distributed everywhere. In this case, all the learning, insights, and data stays within the realm of specific organization, and thereby not being used anything beyond that. So that's the whole point of the sovereignty aspect of it, which is very, very important for our customers. Okay. All right. So that being said, the short answer, just like more philosophical about it. But yeah, so knowledge library is that universe of your information which you dump into the system, and then you can of course also connect different integrations, touch points. There are new email integration. There is an email-based integration which is coming in. A lot of customers requested it, where you want a subset of your email addresses or subject lines or whatever to be dropped as documents, so that way you can collaborate. Good example could be all your invoices which are coming to maybe an XYZ person. How can you have it here so that rest of the team have the context on it and things like that? Okay, so that's what knowledge libraries are. Then from knowledge library, let's graduate to something called virtual data room. Any knowledge library can be converted into a virtual data room. So virtual data rooms are a little bit more simple. Like these are literally like how data rooms are, if you think about, which is you drag and drop documents, you bring in documents from other places, and then you go to links and create a link and choose the scope. You want the whole data room to be exposed or a specific, a subset. Click next, give it a name. You can turn on AI features, screenshots, and anything else you may want to turn on. And then click next. Any email verifications, any NDAs you may want to turn on, of course you can do that too. And once all that is done, you will get a unique link which can be shared. And the real advantage here, and again, based on the industry, the real advantage of doing this is, of course, your white labeling branding aspect of it. But more importantly, here is a highly sensitive data. I don't want people to download and upload it in million unapproved AI systems, and then thereby like exposing my infosec like exposure to all over the place. So in this case, the customers, you are able to share information with customers and vice versa, and then they are able to leverage secure AI, let me put it that way, or approved AI to get to decisions faster. I think a lot of firms are trying to stop AI that way, that hey, no AI on this and that. But idea is, people, if it's inconvenient, people will do shadow IT and get things done. But idea is, how do you make it convenient for them so that they can arrive to decisions faster? That's the whole point of virtual data rooms, if you think about it. Any questions, comments on VDR? If not, I will keep going. Okay. All right, so that's what we call virtual VDR or virtual data rooms. Of course, there are two aspects to it. One is of course the link management side of it, and of course each of these links also have a concept of affiliate tracking. So what that means is, as you share a link, that link gets shared in another distributed network. Then you can attribute how many people signed up from that network, if you think about it, and that way whatever compensation, thank yous, and wines you need to send around, of course you can achieve that if necessary. More importantly, there is of course analytics, like whatever is standard expected out of a VDR, of course all that there within the product. So far, if you think about, DwellFi is an amazing cloud type system, perplexity type system for my team. Knowledge library, which is basically my universe of my information connected at fingertips for humans and AI. Then I can share and collaborate that information with the outsiders, or in a controlled way, to investors and respective customers, and then of course gain insights on who is accessing where and further enhance all that. Okay. Conversations themselves is nothing but your history of conversations, but more importantly, like I think some platform recently started doing this, where you can share conversations with each other. Ours are designed in a way that they pretty much are almost like a Slack chatbot, where you can bring in multiple people at a different capacities, where you can share the conversation with the entire firm, saying, hey guys, here is an amazing idea on whatever, and please check it out. By sharing this way, you are also kind of, if you think about donating knowledge, that hey, here is how I solved something. So next time around, somebody else is solving some problem, AI will look at like, hey, here is how Kumar solved it, and therefore let me help Deepak achieve this much faster, if you think. So we all are on daily basis, just because of how we use platform, are becoming better because we are choosing to enable, and that allows you to control. Likewise, you may not want to share with the whole firm. You only want to share with specific team members because of the sensitivity of whatever you're doing. All that is possible. And then of course sharing on the like for some random internet or a person where they just need to look at information for some time and then come back, kind of a thing. So that way our sharing feature in general is much more advanced than what's out there. Okay. That being said, we have skills. I think by now, if you are into AI world, you know what those are, how they work. You can have, of course, bring in any skill which exists out there into DwellFi platform, and it will work. And you can also export if necessary. And DwellFi platform, by its own domain expert perspective, we bring in skills which we allow customers to leverage. And those you of course cannot click around and see things. But then again, if you want to create your own, you can just create, you can create one with the agent by dragging and dropping whatever you have in mind, what type of skill you want to create, and then let the system do it for you. Artifacts is just basically like stuff you have created over time, so that you can go with. I mean, there are like fake documents we have created for testing and stuff like that, but it's all done by the product itself. Here is an example which I will go over anyways. But then comes something called Agent Universe, and there is a whole new UX coming for this, but I will quickly cover it anyways. So the Agent Universe is collection of custom built agents or out of the box agents in the platform for customers to solve whatever comes to, like whatever they want to automate, if you think about it. So here is one example of such a very complex fund accounting agent, where this agent is a specialist in onboarding services, capital call services, and all other million things. And all you have to do is just click next, choose the location, and basically wait and call it done. Let me jump there and actually show you how it works. So I have jumped over. Let me see if I'm jumped. Actually, yes. Now I have jumped over to a different environment where I have the data set to actually show it. Yeah, so you can choose onboarding service. Let's click that, and full lifecycle demo, onboarding calls, click next, and then you can say investor onboarding services and click next. Any additional concerns you may have, of course, you can insert those and run the service. And at this moment, the whole system is running in an agent mode, which is basically a highly specialized like agent whose job is just to get certain things done, and that alone. It'll take some time, but I have already run it once before. So it takes about, in this case, about I think how much time it took, about 34 second-ish plus minus to get things done. And what it did is it went through the entire subscription data set and identified outliers where it's not matching any KYC verifications that as a business you may be doing, or KYB you may be doing, and whatnot, and then produced basically like a whole audit trail or a review queue for you. For example, you can look at what happened here, demos, right? So let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So it's like, hey, here is the LP, here is the action which somebody need to do, and exception details and things like that. So the whole agent is pretty much taking care of the whole like the office work and document processing work which you have to do otherwise to produce an outcome, which otherwise just takes time. So that's what agents are. And I think there's one more which I want to cover. Let me see. Yeah, here's another complicated NAV. I mean, calculating NAV is a whole accounting job if you think about it. And here is a text-based outcome. Of course, can be PDF or an HTML if that's necessary, where the agent is doing the whole fund accounting for a target fund in this case, and producing the sections which are necessary for the report. And at the bottom, like putting assumptions and disclaimers, and then putting a place for it to be signed. Of course, this need to go through the PDF export and all that, but here is an idea of like basically what agent can mathematically do for somebody. Okay, where we are going from this is next. I think one other feature which is left on which we didn't discuss is AI table/AI workbooks. So what AI table or workbooks are is, imagine you creating a spreadsheet and it magically gets filled up with highly accurate data from all the PDFs which you have under a collection, if you think about, right? So can you extract them and give me all these columns? And the system is able to achieve that, and is able to precisely say which field is coming from which page and any concerns. In some cases, we have seen where addresses are there, but the zip code was wrong. And then thereby the agent is flagging that, hey, this zip code doesn't look like belongs to the city, something funny, verify aspect of it. So that's what AI table does. And yeah, so let's see where we are with the request we submitted. Yeah, so the whole agent ran through, submitted, like it's identifying things which are corrupted, things which are not subdocs, stuff which is basically a real back office work. If you think about it, this is what a realistic life looks like. I mean, there is an idealism in how things should be working, but this is what we deal with every day, and how agent can help you highlight and find things. Switching gears, where we are going. I think I always talk with customers the roadmap aspect of it. Yeah, where this is. Yeah. So where we are going from this is in about a month or so, there is this new Agent Universe dashboard, which is gonna be powered by DAP. DAP is Deterministic Agent Protocol. We are exposing it. That allows the agents to be highly, on point in terms of what they need to get done. They don't get sidetracked, and more importantly, give humans all the controls they need. So a lot of people are building agents, but then customers are not able to afford and run them because they're credit drinking machines. So here is a dashboard which every employee is gonna be having, where they will have access to all the agents they are authorized to maintain and manage. Let's look at KYC for a second. Idea is every day the employee like emails, they will come to this portal, they will see, hey, here are all the things which my agent are doing or has been doing. They are stuck on something, you open why they are stuck, and stuck, it could be as simple as a decision that, hey, I'm confused, I need to take a decision. Can you as my human manager and approve and authorize and change? So you as a agent manager job is to help the agent get through a decision dilemma, or give them a feedback. And then once all that is done, we can just keep going through more and more. Here is a little bit more dynamic mock-up of the same thing, but just to give you guys an idea of how these agents are going to look like once done in about a month or so. And this is literally where DwellFi is going, where, hey, a single agent is cool. How do I have a team of agent working, and how do I have a human who really want to manage it? Okay. So I will take a pause here. Any question, comments so far, or anything I should be covering back?
Well, at a macro level, one of the things I'm thinking about, this is obviously a lot of complexity here. How do you guys go about selling this? What's the sales process like?
All right, that's a very good question. So selling is as simple as this. This is how I begin. Literally saying, hey, you are a firm or a business or whatever. You are in one of these verticals. You are either a professional service, which can be anything under the roof of the world, or a PE or a fund administrator. And how do you operate your business today? What is your team size? Team size could be 20. How much are you paying as a blended cost? 60 is a general average, which we know as happens. What is your revenue goal? How much your business will grow? Any technology concerns? And then idea is, this is what we sit and work. This is like a workbook where we discuss like, hey, will AI even help you? An idea is, if you have already optimized everything, then there's not much AI can do for you. But if you feel like your team is spending an insane amount of financial operations, manually doing things, that is where you come in. And we know already, based on the industry benchmarks and our own experience with customers, how much it can be, in terms of efficiency. And if you believe it's not 70, yeah, you can reduce it to 30 if that's what you want. And what it does is, this allows us to have a very candid conversation whether DwellFi is even worth your time. Like, basically, idea is, dear customer, like, here is what we believe you are today, where as your business is growing over time, if you don't use AI, you probably will have to hire about 29 people, so additional 7 people if you think about it. And with DwellFi, you can avoid headcount of additional 7 people because of the overall efficiency gained, where a single employee is able to do a lot more work now. And that's literally the whole labor arbitrage aspect of how AI is actually supposed to help businesses. A lot of people think it's about implement AI and fire people, but it's more about implement AI and keep the ones you have trained and don't hire more. And that's essentially because once you hire somebody, you have to train them. It takes time, like about a year or so before they become the best productive member of the team. Why you want to do all that if you can make your existing trained, trusted employees more efficient? And that's literally the pitch.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is how it begins, and then from there, the customer basically opens up. They talk about, hey, we would like to use the couple of customers in Middle East. They are like, hey, we would like to use the knowledge library, because we have so much document, we do not know where is what. And I think throwing everything into DwellFi just makes it so much easier for us to quickly find stuff. It's just a winning game there, right there for them, if you think about it. Imagine you are reconciling 1,000+ investors. We have dealt, I think, 7,000. One of them have a wrong address or something got swapped. How do you get to that subdoc? Because it is somewhere in that mountain of PDFs. So the idea is, the person name, you can quickly search for it, and then just go there. Okay, and then like basically type whatever comes to mind, and it'll literally take you there. Okay.
So when you're going out and selling, what's the kind of the biggest roadblocks you're facing?
So the biggest roadblock for us is build versus buy. So a lot of teams they just started a AI journey, and everybody have some sort of AI expert in there whose charter is to expand himself and whatnot. So the idea is basically, we are going to build it in house, and we are going to build a platform for 2 years, and then maybe a business use case. Or we already have Claude, and we have tried some agents, and we have luck there, but then why DwellFi, stuff like that. So our real competition is basically the in-house build teams, not like another vendor or so. At least in the market and the customer segments we are going for at this moment. So the biggest competition is we have Claude, or we are confused with Claude, or something along that line.
And obviously, you guys are on top of how AI is evolving, AI agents are evolving. So how is the platform going to be evolving?
Yeah, so I think this is one great example. I have this again, we have Kumar and I both have this opinion and a view that when we started crypto, we started with a version, but then when we were pivoting to AI, getting first done, we had a reasoning that the world is not ready for from a crypto compensation perspective. Like why crypto networks are great at transferring value and money, but for what? So the idea is imagine agents living on a distributed networks being compensated. So, for example, if I have this investor KYC agent, imagine I am a DwellFi KYC firm. How can I lend my KYC agent as an employee to every firm out there and then get paid through the distributed networks of things without going through the typical SaaS contract? Because that is literally the economy which I believe the world is moving towards, where every agent will justify its own existence on the network, salary, profit margins, and go back to the the respective employers to compensate them, or the creators in this case. And then this is the whole idea of the whole idea of a agent universe, which we are slowly moving towards, which is I think another important thing which many companies don't talk about is what is how are you using credits, which employee is using it, and what value they are generating. That is literally the if you think about the agent game. So eventually when an agent is joining your firm to do a job for you, the agent is gonna cost, let's just say, $5,000 a month, but is it generating $100,000 value? And how do we justify that value? That's why every conversations which you see, right? Some of them I think I demo. Let me show you. Some of the conversations we saw, we have this concept of like value being generated. That hey, I have consumed 40 credits, but I have generated about hour and a half worth of human value. Basically, if a similar work would have taken like a highly trained and efficient human being about an hour and a half to achieve, as an agent, I have achieved this like whatever time it took. And that literally falls into this whole concept of where is the agent universe somewhere. The whole concept of agent universe, where now every agent will justify on monthly basis what they are doing for your firm, and then you get compensated directly through the credit mechanics and whatnot. So that's really where I see the world is gonna be moving pretty soon, where companies are how we have agencies for people today, right? Hey, I will help you hire a head of XYZ or an employee of doing this. There will be agencies which will be lending agents as employees, if it makes sense.
Okay, well, this has been super interesting. I'm not sure if any of the other folks here have any questions that they'd like to ask Kumar or Deepak.
I asked a
Charles?
question why is it called DwellFi? I don't see any relationship between that and what you're doing.
Yeah, I think the journey began. The whole thing is called DwellFi because we were like develop finance, so we started tokenizing houses when we started as a company many years ago.
Oh,
And
got it.
then
Housing industry. Thank you.
yeah,
Got
and
it.
then we pivoted because the industry wasn't yet ready, and then we were pivoted every time, only to realize that we are pivoting because there's bad data. So idea is tokenization is great, but it doesn't work without reliable, trustable NAV values and other things. So idea is let's solve
Right.
that, and we just double down into that.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, Charles.
Hi, Lou. That was a great presentation, very sort of deep, profound. Just a quick question: are you focused only on the fund management industry, or do you look at, or could you help curate other areas of data?
We are actually, as I said, we are a platform. We fortunately happen to be in the fund admin industry when we pivoted, and that's basically, you can say, our primary persona. But we are looking at hospitality, hotel management, and a couple of other areas, as well as a small POC with customers. So we are more than happy to, of course, open our many verticals if you think about it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Charles. And Robin?
Thanks, Lou. Deepak, I was wondering what it was like surviving and pivoting. I noticed that I'm one of your investors actually in the early days, and I haven't really followed your track record at all, but I did notice a couple of little announcements along the way. But what was it like trying to survive and find your niche and pivot, and just as a founder, as entrepreneurs? How
Yeah,
was it?
yeah, I think it was very simple. When we started, of course, it's all exciting crypto and whatnot. Then crypto winter comes and goes and then there is summer in between. So the idea was is for us the difficult thing was finding a customer. So we had about almost $1 million in revenue, where we are like part crypto, part fund administration aspect of it. And idea is it's not growing. And idea is if we are stuck in this, we are not gonna go around. So we had a conversation with the customer. He decided, he agreed that they will find a way to move on and whatever, and we help them. But then and then essentially switch and to basically solve the real problem which is stopping asset tokenizations to even happen, which is basically you cannot have a tradable market of funds without reliable data. Reliable data cannot come. You're in Q4 and you're still talking about Q1. How are you going to do speculation and trading? So we were really like, hey, let's solve. We know how to solve blockchain now. We have solved it. We have tokenized about $150 million in funds, so we know how to do it all that. But what we do not know is how to bring that another $1 billion BlackRock stuff into this. So let's go in deeper into this, and that's how we agreed. And how do we stay motivated? I think the motivation was if we give up, we will ever never start again. So the idea was is when are we ready to give up?
Thank you. Thank you. That's makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, thanks, Robin. Okay, well, Kumar, Deepak, this was great. Thanks a lot. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for people to contact you guys?
Yeah, that's just basically Deepak at DwellFi or Kumar at DwellFi. I think any email address, we are very responsive, and I will type that in as well here. Dwell.fi and Kumar at Dwell.fi. So either one, and then Kumar is, I think his SLA is milliseconds, mine is minutes, but we're there.
Okay, terrific. And last question, when you come back next year and we're chatting, what do you think we'll be talking about next year that we're not talking about today?
So I think next year would be is the work surface, as I said, like the whole conversation around DwellFi would be. I believe the tokenization, AI tokenization is going to be a new thing, which is basically how do you compensate agents or agencies through blockchain.
Makes sense.
I believe blockchain will come back. It's just function of time. Sometime you build iPhone way before you invented batteries, but it'll come back.
Yeah, that's certainly what I believe. Well, thanks, Deepak. Thanks, Kumar. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.